this channel. It is my great privilege to speak to you through this channel, and today's video it is going to be a different one altogether. But before we start this video, I would like to ask for a small favor. If you find our videos useful and educational, please kindly subscribe and share so that we'll grow and be able to give you more stuff. Then in today's video, we're going to be talking about the history of automobiles. Right, by that I'm trying to explore who actually came up with the idea of making cars or automobiles per se. Everything that exists on earth is history, and we all know that. And in history, it's believed that human race evolved from apes, right? It is also believed that we are created by God. This is all history. But behind all those stories lies the ultimate truth. Vehicles carries vast amount of history behind. This is what we want to explore in this video of today. So it is difficult to single out one person when it comes to the invention of automobiles. Historians disagree on what qualifies as the first true automobile. And in today's video, we are going to be focusing on Henry Ford. Henry Ford is the founder of the Ford Motor Company. He was born in Springsville Township, Wayne County, Michigan on July 30, 1863, to Mary and William Ford. He was the eldest of 6 children in a family of 4 boys and 2 girls. His father was a native of County Cork Island, who came to America in 1847 and settled on a farm in Wayne County. Young Henry Ford showed an early interest in mechanics. By the age of 12, he was already spending most of his time in a small machine shop, and he had acquired himself, equipped himself there. At 15, he constructed his first steam engine. Just imagine, at 15 years. Later, he became a machinist apprentice in Detroit in the shops of James Flower and Brothers, and in the plant of the Detroit Dry Coke Company. After completing his apprenticeship in 1882, he spent a year setting up and repairing Westinghouse steam engines in southern Michigan. In July 1891, he was employed as an engineer at the Edison Illuminating Company of Detroit. He became chief engineer on November 6, 1893. On August 9, 1899, he resigned from the Edison Illuminating Company and with others organized the Detroit Automobile Company, which went into bankruptcy about 18 months later. Meanwhile, Henry Ford designed and built several racing cars. In one of them, called Sweepstakes, he defeated Alexander Winton on a track in Grosse Pointe, Michigan on October 10, 1901. 1 month later, Henry Ford founded his second automobile venture, the Henry Ford Company. He would leave that enterprise, which would become the Cadillac Motor Company in early 1902. In another of his racing cars, the 999, he established a world record for the mile, covering the distance in 39.4 seconds on January 12, 1904, on the winter ice of Lake St. Clair. On June 16, 1903, Henry and 12 others invested $28,000 and created Ford Motor Company. The first car built by the company was sold on July 15, 1903. Henry owned 25.5% of the stock in the new organization. He became president and controlling owner in 1906. In 1919, Henry, Clara, and Edsel Ford acquired the interests of all minority stakeholders and became the sole owners of the company. Edsel, who succeeded his father as president in 1919, occupied that position until his death in 1943, when Henry Ford returned to the post. In September 1945, when he resigned the presidency for a second time, Henry Ford recommended that his grandson, Henry Ford II, be elected to the position. The board of directors followed his recommendation. In 1946, Henry Ford was lauded at the Automotive Golden Jubilee for his contributions to the automotive industry. In July of that same year, 50,000 people cheered for him in Dearborn at a giant 83rd birthday party. Later that year, the American Petroleum Institute awarded him its first gold medal annual award for outstanding contributions to the welfare of humanity. The United States government honored him in 1965 by featuring his likeness with the Model T on a postage stamp as part of their prominent American series. In 1999, Fortune magazine named Henry Ford the businessman of the century. Henry Ford's career as a builder of automobiles dated from the winter in 1893, when his interest in internal combustion engine led him to construct a small one-cylinder gasoline model. The first Ford engine sputtered its way to life on a wooden table in the kitchen of the Ford home at 58 Bagley Avenue in Detroit. A later version of that engine powered his first automobile, which was essentially a frame fitted with 4 bicycle wheels. This first Ford car, the quadricycle, was completed in June 1896. Thomas Edison would become a lifelong painter and friend to Henry Ford. On April 11, 1888, Henry married Clara Jane Bryant of Greenfield, Michigan, the daughter of Martha and Marvin Bryant, a Wayne County farmer. Clara lived to the age of 84 and died on September 29, 1950. They had one child, son Edsel Brian Ford, was born on November 6, 1893. Henry Ford died at his residence, Fair Lane Estate in Dearborn, at 11:40 p.m. on Monday, April 17, 1947, following a cerebral hemorrhage. He was 83 years old. At his bedside were Clara Ford and members of their household staff. At the time of his death, flooding on the Rogue River, which flows through the grounds of Fair Lane, had cut off electrical power. Old-fashioned kerosene lamps and candles were the only sources of light in the house, creating a scene similar to his birth in the same county many years before. Funeral services were held at St. Paul's Episcopal Cathedral in Detroit, Michigan, and Henry Ford was laid to rest in the family cemetery at St. Martha's Episcopal Church in Detroit. Thank you so much for watching. Please kindly subscribe, share this video, and like. Thank you for watching.